Good morning. It is Tim Shermack. I want to welcome you to the High Hanging Fruit webinar. I just want to let you know that you are in the right place. If you're here for the High Hanging Fruit webinar, if you're joining us this morning to get a free copy of the book High Hanging Fruit, I just want to let you know that you're in the right place. My name is Tim Shermack. I'm the author of the book High Hanging Fruit, as well as I'm the CEO of Platform Marketing. So just want to let you know that if you're here this morning for the High Hanging Fruit webinar, you are in the right place. Everyone who joins us this morning is going to get a free copy of High Hanging Fruit. So you are in the right place. We're going to get started here in less than 1 minute. So just wanted to let you know you're in the right place. We're going to get started here in less than 1 minute. Thanks, guys. Hey everyone, good morning. Thanks for waiting. This is Tim Shermack. I am the author of the book High Hanging Fruit, as well as the CEO of Platform Marketing. And I wanted to let you know you are in the right place. So if you're joining us this morning, everyone is going to get a free copy of the book High Hanging Fruit. I'm going to hop into screen share mode right now so you guys can see my screen, and we'll get started this morning. Again, everyone who joins us is going to receive a free copy of the book High Hanging Fruit. So I'd like to start right away just by letting you guys know what high hanging fruit is. Because one of the most annoying things to me is when you sign up for a webinar and the first like half hour, of a webinar training is just total fluff, right? There's no actual substance, no like specific strategies or actual practical, tactics that you can implement, right? And so we're going to dive right into this. We're going to do a training on the high hanging fruit marketing strategy for realtors, how you can use it to generate leads, how this marketing strategy really has actually doubled the GCI of many real estate agents around the country. And so we don't just have a couple case studies of this, where it's worked for people. We actually have dozens and dozens of stories that we'll share with you, as well as I'm going to show you the specific Facebook ad campaigns that you can pretty much just copy and paste and they will work in your market. So we're going to dive into the theory and the strategy of what is high hanging fruit and how is high hanging fruit different than what most realtors are doing. But we're not going to stop, at the theory. That's not where we stop. I'm going to show you these specific Facebook lead generation campaigns that I recommend that you run because I know that they work to generate leads. The average realtor actually who uses this high hanging fruit idea is generating about 200 warm leads every single month. So we're going to talk about the theory that makes that work again and why it's so much different than what most agents are doing. But we're not going to stop with the theory. We're actually going to dive into these specific Facebook campaigns that I recommend that you run to generate more leads for your business. And on top of all that, of course, as promised, you are going to receive a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit. So everyone who joins us this morning is going to get that book. It's not some BS, ebook download where it's like a 15-page book. High Hanging Fruit is a legit 200-page book. We're going to send you a copy in the mail, a real book, totally free. All right. So I'm going to hop into screen share mode right now. Give me 1 second to hop into screen share rather, and we will get rocking and rolling. 1 second, guys. All right, cool. So you should be able to see my screen right now. What high hanging fruit is it's a marketing strategy that's honestly it's pretty much the opposite of what every agent does in their business. And when I say it's the opposite, I actually mean it in the literal sense of the opposite. So most agents are obsessed with what I call low hanging fruit, right? Most agents are obsessed with trying to generate as many leads as possible that are ready to go right now. So I define low hanging fruit leads as the buyers and sellers in your market, where they're ready to start house hunting this week, or they're ready to start house hunting, like right away. And they're already pre-approved, or if they're not, they're ready to get pre-approved today because they want to get going right away, right? Or it's a homeowner, it's a seller who is ready to have you over for a listing appointment today. Like they're wanting to list their house like this week. They don't want to wait for anything, right? They're ready to go right now. So that's what we call low hanging fruit, because in theory, you want low hanging fruit, right? Like all things being equal, you'd rather have leads that are ready to go right now, right? Rather than a lead who's ready to go in 90 days or a lead who's ready to go in 6 months, right? But what I'm here to tell you and what you'll learn on this webinar is that all things are pretty much never equal, right? So low-hanging fruit is paradoxically the hardest type of leads to convert because that's where all the competition is. All the agents out there have been trained since they first got their license, right? That you chase the low-hanging fruit to get quick business, which is why many agents are borderline obsessed with calling expired listings, calling for sale by owners, right? Because that's considered low-hanging fruit. And if that's what all the agents are doing to generate leads, again, it paradoxically, actually it's harder to convert those leads because that's what everyone's doing. So even though it's low-hanging fruit, and in our society, in our culture, even the phrase low-hanging fruit, whether you're talking about real estate or not, low-hanging fruit means something that's easy to get. Because that's where all the competition is, paradoxically, low-hanging fruit are the hardest leads to convert. So what I advise you to do is target high-hanging fruit. So high-hanging fruit are the leads that are ready to go maybe in 3 or 4 months, right? They're kind of in that like just doing research phase where they're not ready to buy a house this week. They're not ready to put a sign in the yard to list their house this week, but they're kind of like just doing research, right? They're definitely planning on buying a house, let's say in 90 days, but they're not yet at the point where they actually want to start driving around going on showings, right? Or they're not going to have you over for a staging consultation, like they're kind of just doing research, right? But that is the perfect time to generate leads when they're just doing research, because if you can generate a lead and start slowly cultivating a conversation with that lead a couple months before they would normally, go on realtor.com, go on Zillow, opt in, and then get bombarded with, messages from all the agents that, they sold their contact information to, right? If you can get them to opt in before that point, you have an incredible competitive advantage over other realtors in your area because you basically have a 3-month head start on building a relationship and converting your leads, right? You have a 3-month head start where you're probably the only real estate agent they're talking to. And that's why I love high hanging fruit, because the lead conversion rate on your leads is going to be so much higher than what other agents in your market are used to, right? So that's what high hanging fruit is. So we want to build a marketing system that specifically targets people that are maybe, 2-3 months out from actually being ready to buy or sell. Maybe they're even 4 months out from being ready to buy or sell, right? So we're going to build a marketing system that specifically attracts those types of buyers and those types of sellers. They're still a couple months out because we have a monopoly on those leads, and then therefore our lead conversion rate is going to be way higher than other realtors. So that's what high hanging fruit is all about. In the webinar this morning, again, if you're just hopping on, everyone is going to receive a free copy of the book. We're going to talk about how to build a high hanging fruit marketing system. All right. I'm even going to show you these specific Facebook ads that I recommend running to generate the most amount of leads. We'll talk about how to convert those leads, right? And I'm going to show you some videos of agents that are already doing this. So you realize that it's not just a theory, it's actually something that's working in the real world right now. All right, so this text message you see on the screen, this is a text we got from an agent, and the part I want you to focus on is at the very end. So yeah, they got some buyers, some sellers, that's all great, but at the very end, there's that line that says, "My pipeline is full." Ultimately, that is what high hanging fruit is all about. It's about building your pipeline, right? So you don't have to exist and just survive commission check to commission check, closing to closing. Like, you always know where your next closing is going to come from, because you at all times from now on, you at all times will have a pipeline of leads ready to go in 1 month, ready to go in 2 months, ready to go in 3 months, etc. So even if you had a bunch of closings, because obviously it's August right now. Oh, one more thing. This is a live webinar. I want everyone to realize that. Let me grab my iPhone here. It says 8:13 a.m. right now. I'm in Mountain Time, actually. So it's 8:13 a.m. and it is Tuesday, August 7th today. So Tuesday, August 7th, 8:13 a.m. Mountain Time. So it's 10:13 a.m. Eastern Time right now. So I just want everyone to know this is 100%. It's a live webinar. This is not one of those trainings where we trick you into thinking it's live and then you hop on and it's actually a recording. This is 100% live. Just want everyone to know that, right? So it's a totally live webinar. And so that being said, right, it is August 7th today. So let's say a lead opts in to one of your campaigns today. That lead probably isn't going to be ready to go until the end of September or maybe even October, right? Those are the type of leads we want to generate where we get a couple month head start on other realtors, right? So we always have a pipeline of leads that we're talking to. Again, because they're high hanging fruit leads, this is what makes this different from all other marketing systems you probably have ever checked out. When we have leads that are ready to go in a couple months, you're the only realtor they're talking to. So all of your leads, you have a head start on other realtors. That's what makes this really, really cool. So you can convert a way higher percentage of your leads. So it's not just about generating as many leads as possible, right? What really matters is how many of those leads do you actually convert into closings. So I just want to get really clear right away that high hanging fruit is not a marketing tactic, so it's not just about Facebook ads, right? You can use high hanging fruit with direct mail. You can use high hanging fruit, obviously with a Facebook ad strategy. You can use high hanging fruit with newspaper ad strategy. It kind of works for anything. So it's not just a tactic, right? Personally, I usually recommend Facebook ads, at least right now in 2018, because Facebook is where you're going to get the cheapest cost per click and cost per lead over pretty much any marketing medium. Facebook right now is where I advise realtors. That's where you should be spending almost all of your money, just because it's the cheapest way to get business. Of course, that could change. Maybe next year some new website pops up and Facebook is irrelevant, right? Because remember what happened to MySpace, right? So that could happen to Facebook too. But at least right now in 2018, I would be spending over 90% of your marketing budget on Facebook, just because that's where you can generate the most leads. So all that being said, high hanging fruit is not a tactic. It can work across any marketing medium. It's really not even a strategy, because I think of a strategy as being at a bigger picture level than even a tactic. It's really not even a strategy. It's at a bigger picture level than that. So from like a 10,000 foot view, the 10,000 foot perspective, high hanging fruit is neither a tactic or a strategy. High hanging fruit is really a marketing philosophy. It's a new way of thinking about marketing in general. So it's not a tactic. It's not even really a strategy. It's actually a marketing philosophy. It's a new way of thinking about marketing. So here's what we're going to cover in the next 60 minutes, because this webinar is an hour long, right? This is not a marathon, crazy, 3-hour webinar, 4-hour webinar. I do talk fast, as you probably noticed. I'm trying to essentially condense an 8-hour training that I normally do with brokers. I'm trying to condense that into a 60-minute online training. And so again, everyone is going to get a free copy of the book if you're just hopping on. It is a real book we will send you in the mail. It is not like an ebook download, where it's like a 10-page ebook or something. This is a legit 200-page book. We'll send you a real copy. So here's what we're going to cover in the next 60 minutes. again, I want you to know that this platform strategy, this high hanging fruit strategy, it's actually doubled the GCI of many agents around the country. Doubled. Okay, so we're not saying, hey, if you made 100,000 last year, maybe this will help you make 120. I'm saying if you made $100,000 last year, this strategy is so radical, it's so different from what everyone else is doing in your market that this could grow your business from 100 to 200. Or if you made 50 last year, it could grow you from 50 to 100. If you made $200,000 last year in GCI, this could take you from 200 to 400. I've seen it again and again and again. Now I'm going to show you some video examples in this webinar just so you realize that it's working for real agents in the real world. It's not just theory. And then at the end of the webinar, I'm going to share with you a specific $500 marketing investment that I think could change your life. And I think everyone who's on the webinar watching right now should invest in this $500 marketing campaign because it works pretty much every single time, right? So I'll share more about that towards the end. All right. So as we get started, as promised, I want to show you an example of how this is working in the real world. Many agents have obviously seen like the marketing system, with Boomtown or with Curator or Commissions Inc. or obviously Realtor.com leads, Zillow leads, right? And it's kind of a mixed bag of results. It seems like some agents say it works, but a lot of agents struggle with it and they say, oh, I didn't get any results. Well, one thing I want you to know right away is this is a lead generation strategy for realtors. This is a marketing philosophy. It actually works, right? So this is a quick video. It's just a 20-second video of Kim Litke. She's a realtor in kind of the outer suburbs of Chicago. And she's been using this high hanging fruit strategy now. And she went to one of her son's baseball games. She was just sitting as a fan in the stands at one of her son's baseball games. And two complete strangers walked up to her. And one of them wants to buy a house. And one of them told her, hey, I want to sell my house. So you got a buyer and a listing lead. And they told her, oh, we don't know you, because she had no idea who they were. They were total strangers. But they recognized her and they said, oh yeah, you're that real estate agent from Facebook, right? So they recognized her from her videos that she had been publishing on Facebook, which is a huge part of this high hanging fruit strategy. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But she had two total strangers walk up to her and recognize her in public at her son's baseball game because this marketing philosophy, this marketing idea, high hanging fruit, it actually works.
Hey, it's Kimberly Litke, and I just wanted to share a quick story with you. I had taken my son for his baseball pictures, and while I was waiting for him, I had two people come up to me and say they recognized me from Facebook and needed some help with real estate. One was to list her parents' house for sale, and the other was to help a sister look for a home in the area. So the videos definitely help, and they are working. That retargeting platform, doing its job. Thanks again.
So again, this is marketing that actually works. One more thing I want to add throughout this training this morning. Yes, everyone is going to get a free copy of the book High Hanging Fruit, but you might hear me say the platform strategy. You might hear me say the high hanging fruit strategy. You'll notice that at the bottom right of the screen, there's the logo for platform. My name is Tim Shermack. I'm the author of the book High Hanging Fruit, but I'm also the CEO of Platform Marketing. So Platform Marketing is a marketing agency that I founded almost 5 years ago now that actually specializes in working with realtors. So Platform is the name of my marketing agency, right? High Hanging Fruit is the title of the book that everyone's going to get for free. So sometimes on this webinar, you might hear me say platform strategy or high hanging fruit strategy. I'm talking about the same thing, okay? Sometimes I just use those terms interchangeably. So I'm talking about the same thing. All right, cool. So this is the next video I want to show you. This is Jonathan Garrick. He was a realtor in Southwest Florida. And the reason this video is important, again, this is just a 20-second video, but I want you guys to realize that for many of you, high hanging fruit can be the missing link that kind of allows you to finally take action on the ideas you've had in your head about marketing, but you've never actually been able to implement to get results. And so, like many agents, Jonathan had read, all the fantastic books by Gary Keller, right? Like The One Thing, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent. And, he had created really ambitious business goals, right? And like a business vision for where he wanted his business to go. But a lot of agents get stuck there. Like they get on an emotional high attending a seminar, right? Or reading a book or going to the Bold class, right? And they craft business goals, but then they don't really change anything about what they're doing to generate leads. And if you don't actually change something about how you're marketing, how you're generating leads, goals are kind of just wishes, right? It's not actually going to do anything to change your business. So Jonathan realized that reading the book High Hanging Fruit was kind of the missing link in his business. It was the missing link that allowed him to kind of translate some of these goals he had into actual results in the real world, right? So High Hanging Fruit was the missing link that allowed him to generate the number of leads every month that would be realistically necessary to hit his business goals, right? Because if you don't actually upgrade your marketing system, if you upgrade, your business goals, again, it's not really a goal, it's kind of just a wish. And so High Hanging Fruit for Jonathan was the missing link that allowed him to take his business to the next level.
Hey everybody, it's Jonathan Garrick, real estate agent in Southwest Florida with Keller Williams Realty, and I'm here today to talk to you about the book High Hanging Fruit and the platform system. And if you've ever read any of the books by Gary Keller, The One Thing or The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, they give you the real big picture thinking on how to come up with a business plan and to grow your real estate business. This is the rocket fuel to that system to actually how to market your business and yourself effectively. So definitely, if you're interested in this book, pick up a copy and also contact Platform. It was one of the best business decisions I've ever made.
Again, so if you've read all those books, The One Thing, The Millionaire Real Estate Agent, this is going to be, in many cases, a lot more practical than maybe the advice in some of those books. It'll allow you to actually generate the number of leads that would be necessary to hit your goals, right? It's not just theory. We're going to dive into the deep practical stuff here too. So if you haven't already noticed, I talk fast. Please grab a pen and paper and take notes. I am trying to condense essentially an 8-hour training I would normally do with like a top team or a broker. I'm trying to condense an 8-hour training into a 60-minute webinar. So please take notes. I do talk fast. So real quick, the first book I wrote was actually not High Hanging Fruit. The first book I wrote was Main Street Marketing. And Main Street Marketing was a book I published not necessarily for realtors. It was just for general small business owners. So local Main Street, brick and mortar small business owners. And one of the main ideas in Main Street Marketing was that every business should generate leads, right? But leads aren't a metric that a lot of business owners think about. Like a lot of small business owners, let's say that you own a CrossFit gym or a coffee shop, right? Or a restaurant. Like businesses like that don't necessarily think about marketing in terms of leads the way that realtors do, right? So one of the main ideas in this book is I hammer home on the point that, hey, every business is in the lead generation business. Doesn't matter if you own a cupcake shop or a CrossFit gym or you're a dentist, like you should think about leads, right? And so anyways, what happened is a lot of agents read this book when it was released, and a lot of real estate agents started taking action on some of the lead generation strategies that I initially introduced in this book. And they started getting really, really great results. And so some of them emailed me and they shared those results with me. And I was pretty impressed. I was like, wow, that's working really, really well for you. And some of them ended up hiring me as a consultant afterwards to, even dial it in further and get even better results. And that's when things kind of just blew up. When some of them hired me as a consultant, to kind of manage their marketing campaigns and their lead gen for them, that's when we started having real estate agents that actually doubled their business. Some even tripled their GCI. And when I say it tripled, I'm not saying like, hey, we took people, from 20 to 60. I'm saying we took people from making like 60,000 to making 200,000 in GCI. Or we took a lot of agents from making 100 to now they're making 220,000, right? So seeing those successes specifically with realtors led me to publish this book. So I decided to write an entirely new book with everything I had learned in working more in-depth, working more closely with these agents who hired me. And that led me to, again, writing and publishing this book, High Hanging Fruit. So the book High Hanging Fruit is a legit book. It's 200 pages long, and it is written specifically for realtors. It's not just a general small business marketing book. It's actually written specifically for real estate agents, right? And so again, everyone who joins us on this webinar this morning, if you're here, if you're listening to me right now, you are going to get a free copy of this book. We'll actually send you the physical book in the mail. So it's not just an ebook download. We will send you the real book, right? So again, please grab a pen and paper if you haven't already and take notes. So the first thing I talk about in a consulting day, again, if a broker hires me or a top team hires me, is we need to get clear on what are the two most important, what are the two main variables that move your business forward? Because it really honestly is just two. It's where do you invest your time and where do you invest your money, right? Most agents invest their time at the top of the funnel, and they invest, their money, like whatever money they have, whether it's $2,000 a month, or $200 a month on advertising. They invest their money at the bottom of the funnel, right? So most agents invest their time at the top of the funnel and their money at the bottom of the funnel. And what I mean by that is, like, if you think of the typical sales cycle, right, or the sales funnel, it's this kind of upside down triangle, right, where it's widest at the top and it gets narrow as it gets to the bottom, right? Like a funnel, right? Widest at the top, narrow as it gets to the bottom. And most agents are taught from like the first week that they got licensed, their broker trained them, hey, to generate leads, you just got to put in the time, right? You got to make enough calls because it's the law of large numbers. If you make enough phone calls, if you make enough touches, you will eventually set some appointments. And for the most part, that's true, right? And so most agents, they get their business going by borderline harassing friends and family, right? Asking, hey, do you know anyone who's thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate? Or they just pound the phones all day, right? They took the bold class, right, at KW, and they're calling hundreds of for sale by owners every day, or hundreds of expired listings every day. Maybe they got the Mojo dialer set up and they're just, making as many cold calls every day as they can for 2 hours every morning, from 8:30 to 10:30. They're just making phone calls, right? And so they're putting in the time to generate leads because they believe they've been taught that the way to generate leads and, therefore the way to grow your business is by putting in the time to generate future business. And so if that's how you got your business going, that you believe that generating or that investing time was the way that you generate leads, most agents stick with that their entire career, right? And then with whatever advertising budget they have, whether it's $2,000 a month, like I said, or maybe $200 a month, with whatever budget they have, they spend it at the bottom of the funnel, basically buying leads. Right. And whether, again, they're buying leads from Zillow, buying leads from realtor.com, it's all the same, because even if I'm using the verb buying leads, you got to realize that's a dead giveaway that I'm talking about low hanging fruit. Like if we're using the verb buy, I'm buying leads. That means at that point, the lead is so far into the sales cycle that they're pretty much ready to buy a house this week or ready to, list their home this week. And they're just a commodity at that point. It's just, nothing more than a name, email, and phone number, because there's probably already a dozen agents that are trying to contact them because they signed up on Zillow or they already signed up on realtor.com, right? And so, again, most agents spend their time at the top of the funnel and their money at the bottom of the funnel buying low-hanging fruit leads. When they spend their time at the top of the funnel to generate leads too, it's not all just cold calling. Sometimes that takes the form of, being as public in the community as possible, trying to volunteer at as many events as possible, just so you're seen out in public, right? Maybe you're really, really active volunteering at your kid's school, or you're very active, volunteering at your church, right? You're just trying to get your name out there so that people think of you, when they think of real estate. Maybe you're very active, networking at your local chamber of commerce or in a BNI group, right? However you do it, most agents invest their time to generate leads. And again, with whatever marketing budget they have, they invest that at the bottom of the funnel, trying to buy leads. The problem with doing this is that if investing your time has always been linked to how much you grow your business, what happens when you run out of time? Like, what happens when your business acts like it starts working, right? What happens when it starts working and you become successful enough to where you run out of time, you run out of hours in the day because you're already working 10 hours a day, right? How do you grow your business if time was the fuel that grew your business? How do you grow your business when you run out of time, right? That's the problem. That's the plateau that most agents hit. More on that later, right? And so what I recommend you do is the opposite of what most agents do. High-hanging fruit is about doing the opposite of what most agents do. That's actually why at a big picture level, it's one of the reasons that this high-hanging fruit marketing idea works so well, is that it is pretty much the opposite of what all realtors do. And if you're doing a marketing strategy and a marketing plan that's the opposite, it means you have no competition. So it just automatically works better, right? And so what I advise you to do, again, is flip the funnel. Let's do the opposite. Let's flip the funnel. Let's actually invest our money at the top of the funnel and our time at the bottom of the funnel. So what I mean by that is, if we invest our money at the top of the sales funnel, what that looks like is, let's build a marketing system that generates leads for us at the top of the funnel. So rather than investing our time making a bunch of cold calls to strangers to generate leads, let's build a marketing system and spend money on lead generation to generate leads for us, so that we only have to invest our actual time following up with warm leads, right? That's the important part. We want to invest our money generating leads at the top of the funnel so that We only have to invest our time from now on following up with leads that our marketing system already warmed up for us. And so rather than spending, 2 hours a day or 3 hours a day cold calling, right? We can spend as little as half hour a day following up with leads, because in that half hour, we're only following up with warm leads, right? So if we can free up 2 hours a day, or in some instances, even 3 hours a day of your time, again, because you're only following up with warm leads that your marketing system generated for you, you can actually handle more business. And so that's how you ultimately double or triple your business. It's not just about the number of leads coming in. It's about how many of those leads can you realistically convert, right? Quality over quantity, right? I'd rather have a higher lead conversion rate than generate, 1,000 leads a month, right? So quality over quantity. Another reason I love this high-hanging fruit marketing idea, by the way, is that it works so well if you're on a limited budget. Because I know there's a lot of agents, obviously, that are watching this webinar this morning. And naturally, you're thinking, well, that sounds great, but I don't have $2,000 a month to spend on commissions, Anchor. I don't have $2,000 a month to, drop into Boomtown or drop into, purchasing a bunch of zip codes on Zillow, right? I only have $100 a month, or I only have $250 a month, right? What can I do? Well, high-hanging fruit works especially well for you, because the higher you go up the tree, right? The higher hanging the fruit is, the less competition there is. And the algorithms that determine the cost per click and cost per lead on, websites like Google and Facebook, they're really driven by an auction system. That's kind of how they were designed, is to mimic a real life auction system. And so if there's very little demand for those clicks, because again, we're moving up the sales cycle where there's not a lot of competition from other realtors. If there's not a lot of demand of other agents trying to bid for those clicks and buy those impressions and buy those keywords, the clicks are cheaper because it's a buyer's market and you're the only buyer for those keywords, for those impressions, right? And so that means your cost per lead is way cheaper. I don't mean to nerd out here, and get into the advanced Google and Facebook ad stuff, but ultimately it means your cost per lead is cheaper. So high-hanging fruit leads are cheaper, right? On Google, often you're paying $25 a lead, or maybe even $50 a lead. With high-hanging fruit, we can get leads as cheap as $5, $4 a lead, even $3 per lead. And so let's say you have a budget of just $100 a month you can spend, right? If you're getting leads for $3, that means even with a tiny budget of just $100 a month, you're generating over 30 warm leads every single month, right? So you can see how it's actually not that crazy to think that you could double your business if every $100 you spent brought in over 30 leads. I mean, obviously that means if you want 100 leads a month, you just have to spend $300 in ads, right? It's not that crazy to double your business, or in some cases even triple your business, again, when every $100 you spend is bringing in over 30 warm leads, right? High-hanging fruit works, again, because there's no competition. This is just the opposite of what most agents do. It's the opposite of how they think about their market, right? The reason I wanted to show you this quick screenshot is that this realtor who texted me this, they got some leads that were pre-approved, so they were pretty stoked about that. It's a 19-year-old kid. So this agent is literally 19 years old. I mean, he's college age. He just graduated high school, right? So if a 19-year-old can watch this webinar and take action and get results, a 19-year-old, his name is Keaton, by the way. He's in Wisconsin. If a 19-year-old can do it, you can too, right? And so when I started consulting with realtors about 5 years ago, I was kind of surprised because I kept seeing the same pattern over and over and over again with the real estate agents who hired me. And the pattern I saw was they would grow their business, maybe their first year as an agent, they told me they did 4 deals. They were just kind of learning the ropes, and maybe their broker gave them a couple easy referrals, so they did, let's say four closings their first year. And then the second year, once they kind of learned how things work, they got some referrals, maybe they did 12 deals, right? And then their third year, once they really kind of settled in and kind of realized, how the game worked, how the business worked, their third year, they did 29 deals, right? But then their fourth year, they did 29 deals. And then their fifth year, they did 32 deals. And they kind of got stuck right around 30 transactions a year. So I kind of observed in, working with all these agents that there was this like invisible plateau right around 30 transactions a year, that agents would get stuck there. Like they would steadily grow their business, but right at about 30 closings a year, they just got stuck. And I didn't realize what was causing this, and obviously it's not 30 on the dot, so it could be 28, it could be 31, it could be 34, but right around 30 closings a year, most agents hit this plateau in their business and they just stopped growing. And then all of a sudden it hit me. I had this like light bulb moment, right? What was happening? The reason agents were hitting a plateau, the reason agents were getting stuck right around 30 transactions a year was that they were literally running out of hours in the day. They were running out of time. Because if time was the way that they generated leads and time was the way that they grew their business, basically just hustle, right? They were always willing to work nights and weekends. They would answer their phone on nights and weekends. They were always willing to sit open houses on weekends. They would even sit open houses for other agents, just to generate, some walk-in, buyer leads, hoping that, they were not yet represented by a buyer's agent, right? They would always provide, just great service. Again, answering their phone on nights and weekends. Always asking for referrals, making sure they called back all the sign calls, basically just putting in the time, right? They hustled really hard. They grew their business from nothing to about 30 transactions a year by hustle, right? By putting in the time. The problem is if hustle and putting in the time, literally, if that's how you got your business to 30 transactions a year, how do you get beyond that point? Because I don't even have to ask you. I already know that if you did, let's say, 32 closings last year, I already know without even having to ask you that you're probably working full-time. Like you're not a part-time agent if you did 32 transactions last year. You're not working 30 hours a week. You're not a part-time agent. You're probably not even working 40 hours a week. You're working 50 hours a week or more, right? And so the problem with this model that most agents use, which is I invest my time to generate leads, right? And then with whatever money I have, I buy leads. I buy low-hanging fruit leads. The problem with that model is what happens when you run out of time. Like you can't add extra hours to the day, right? Like if you did 32 closings last year, you're probably already working 50 hours a week. Like you're not a part-time agent, right? And so if you want to double your business, because let's say you have some aggressive financial goals for you and your family, you want to be able to put your kids through college, or you want to be able to buy a bigger, nicer house. You want to be able to take, longer, nicer vacations or buy a nicer car or whatever your goals are for your family, right? Your finances, saving more for retirement, whatever, right? Donating more money to your church or charities that you like. If you want to double your business to 60 transactions a year, but you're already working 50 hours a week, like what are you going to do? Like, oh, I guess putting in the time worked to this point. I'll just put even more time. I'll start cold calling people 4 hours a day instead of 2 hours. I'll start working twice as many hours. I'll start working 100 hours a week instead of 50. Well, that math works in theory, right? That you could double the inputs and the outputs will double, but obviously that's not how it works in the real world because it's totally unrealistic to work 100 hours a week. And if you were cold calling for 2 hours a day and that got you to growing your business to about 30 closings a year, which by the way is a great business. Like no one should ever be ashamed about doing 30 transactions a year because most agents never get beyond 15 closings a year, right? So if you're doing 30 transactions a year, like congrats, you're already kicking butt, right? But I also know that you're working 50 hours a week. And if you're cold calling to do that and you're investing time to generate leads, like what are you going to do? Start cold calling 4 hours every morning? Oh, I was doing 2. Now I'm going to start doing 4 hours of, lead gen and prospecting every morning because that'll get me to my goal of doubling my business. Doing 60 closings a year. It just doesn't scale like that. The outputs don't scale in a linear fashion to the inputs, right? If you cold call for 2 hours every morning, doing 4 hours morning of cold calls is not going to get you to the next level because you have to leave enough hours in the day, to actually be a realtor, right? You can't just cold call for half the day. You have to, be out and about on showings, going on listing appointments, negotiating offers on behalf of your clients, right? Attending home inspections, coordinating staging, coordinating, the photos for listings, attending closings for your clients, right? Obviously driving your clients around, looking at houses, right? You actually have to have enough hours in the day to be a real estate agent, right? So you can't just cold call or prospect, for 4 hours a day. If hustle got you to 30 transactions a year, hustle is actually going to be the exact thing that prevents you from getting to the next level, right? Because you literally run out of hours in the day. And so time can get you to that, to that point. Putting in the time can get you to that point. But what gets you to the next level isn't hustling harder or putting in more time. It's building a marketing system that severs the link between your time and your production as an agent, right? Because of how much money you make and how many leads you generate is always a function of your time. You'll never outrun that. The time will actually be the constraint that always holds you back because you can't add more hours in the day, right? So we want to build a marketing system that generates leads for you. So the only time you actually have to invest your time is following up with warm leads. And that's how we can create, like, not only can we generate hundreds of leads a month for you when you build this high hanging fruit lead gen system, we're also going to free up 2 hours or maybe even 3 hours of your day so you can handle that increased lead volume and actually grow your business, right? So here's an example of a realtor who grew their business and busted right through the plateau of 30 closings a year because they focused on generating leads, building a high-hanging fruit lead pipeline, you know, and actually freeing up their time. So this is Brandon. He's an agent kind of in the suburbs of Denver. And he's actually going to give you a quick tour of his offices. So this is kind of cool. He'll actually give you a quick behind-the-scenes tour of their offices and show you his whiteboard where he has all the high-hanging fruit written out of where he knows his closings are going to be coming from over the next several months. So this is a really cool example because he actually shows you the whiteboard, right? Like the whiteboard doesn't lie, right? He'll actually show you all those closings he has coming up, again, because he followed this high-hanging fruit marketing philosophy.
Introduced the whole online lead platform system. I was skeptical. Now, a year later, we're closing 40 deals in 2016. This is all due to the online marketing platform. For example, we have our buyers meet us in this building, which gives us instant credibility. Because when you meet somebody on the internet, you never know if they're real or not. So when you come to a building like this, people come in here, they want to work with you, they realize you're real, and then you sign them up as a client. Come with me to the office. For example, we are closing 11 deals in June alone, totaling over $4.5 million. That is an incredible number. About half of that came directly from the platform system. Now over here is the stuff you can't fake. This is our pipeline. This is ready buyers who've been pre-approved. They want to go searching, they want to go shopping, and they want to buy a home. 50% of these guys are all coming from our platform system, and it's proven the high-hanging fruit mentality, the system, the platform leads, it really does work, and it's real.
There you go. I mean, the whiteboard doesn't lie, right? Like those are really, really impressive numbers he has. And realize that whiteboard that Brandon is standing next to, those are not just leads he has, right? He actually has hundreds and hundreds of leads. So those are not just a list of leads. Those are a list of prospects that he's already converted. They're pre-approved, and they're either out searching or they're going to start house hunting within, you know, the next month or two, right? They're already pre-approved, they're ready to go, right? So those are the leads essentially he's already converted in the next coming months. And so he always knows, basically looking ahead, you know, for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, he already knows basically how much money he's going to be making and how much commissions he's going to be bringing in because of this high-hanging fruit system, right? Like, imagine how good that would feel to not only know, you know, what closings you have this month, but you can pretty accurately plan how much commission checks that you'll have coming in. Oops, I got kicked out here. How much commission checks you'll have coming in, not just this month, but in 2 months and in 3 months, right? So that's pretty cool if you build that high-hanging fruit marketing system. So again, investing your time and hustling can get you to about 30 closings a year, or maybe 40 if you have an assistant or an ISA or someone helping you out a bit, you know. Maybe you can hit 40, 45 with a little extra help. But if you want to like double your business or triple your business and get to, you know, 50, 60, 70, 80 closings a year, you know, and beyond, right? It's not about putting in the time. It's not about hustle. It's about building a marketing system that generates leads independent of your time, right? So even if you worked part-time for a week, you know, that your business is still generating leads. So you're only following up with warm leads. That's the key. All right. So guys, in the next 25 minutes, I really, really want you to pay attention. I believe that the next 25 minutes of this webinar could actually be the most important 25 minutes of your entire real estate career. So please pay attention. What we're going to talk about in the next 25 minutes is the specifics of how you actually generate leads using the high-hanging fruit philosophy. Right. So now we've talked about what most agents are doing, why the old model of what most agents are doing is broken. Now we're going to talk about how to actually build a high-hanging fruit marketing systems. The first thing I'm going to cover is the advertising industrial complex, or the Google industrial complex. So why most online leads, for realtors, from a company like Boomtown, Commissions Inc., Curator, YLOPO, Zillow, Realtor.com, right? We're going to talk about why the leads from a lot of those companies are so expensive now. And then we'll talk about actually the specifics of what I recommend that you do instead to cut out the middleman and generate more leads for your business. So please pay attention the next 25 minutes. This could actually be the most important 25 minutes of your real estate business. So when we talk about high hanging fruit, the first thing we have to get clear on when we actually start generating leads is what's not working, right? What's not working? Why do most agents struggle so much with their lead generation, right? And the reason it has actually a lot to do with the macro economy and supply and demand. If I ask you, let's say that you were spending $1,000 a month on Zillow, right? Let's say like 5 years ago, actually. So let's just think back to, let's say 2014, right? In 2014, let's say you were spending $1,000 a month on Zillow every month. And today, now that we're in 2018, you're still spending that same $1,000 a month, right? I guarantee you, I don't even have to ask you, I already know that if you're spending the same $1,000 a month today, that you are getting fewer leads today for the same $1,000 a month as you were back in 2014, right? In 2014, even though the dollar amount was the same, you were spending an even $1,000 a month. You were getting way more leads back then for $1,000 a month than you're getting today, right? So what's causing that? Like, why are we getting so fewer leads today than we were just a couple of years ago, right? Because we're not talking about like, a 40-year time period or a 25-year time period. Because a lot of people say, oh, well, there's just natural inflation, right? The economy has inflation. Well, it's like, guys, like we're talking about basically a 5-year time period. We're not talking about a 40-year difference in time, right? Inflation is really only an explanation if you're thinking about a longer, time period like that. We're talking about 5 years, right? There hasn't been that much inflation in the last couple of years. So that's not really a valid explanation. So why are leads for realtors so much cheaper now than they were just a couple of years ago, or rather so much more expensive now than a couple of years ago? So why were leads so much cheaper back then, right? For $1,000 a month, you're getting way fewer leads today than you were even just back in 2014. So what's causing that, right? Like, what is causing that? Well, it has to do with supply and demand. So think back to what you learned in economics class, like probably the very first day of economics class when you're in like junior high, right? Your teacher taught you about this concept of supply and demand, right? What's happened in the United States in the last several years on the supply side of things is that pretty much the same amount of people are out buying houses as they were 5 years ago, right? So approximately the same percentage of the American population is buying a house in 2018 as they were in 2014, right? So that really hasn't changed. Like the same percentage of people are going online and they're searching for houses, or they're searching for keywords, right? Like best realtor in Tampa or homes for sale in Nashville, right? Approximately the same percentage of people are doing that, today, this year, as they were about 5 years ago. So the supply of online leads, if you want to call it leads, right? The supply of leads hasn't really changed fundamentally in the last 5 years. That's been pretty constant, right? What's changed though is the demand for those leads. Because in the last 5 years, what's happened amongst realtors is there's pretty much been a revolution in the real estate community about how we think about marketing. 5 years ago, actually, the vast majority of agents were still putting all their marketing dollars, pretty much all their marketing dollars, into offline advertising. So that looked like, newspaper ads. They were putting all their money into billboards or direct mail or radio advertisements, right? And so again, just 5 years ago, we're not talking, 25 years ago, 20 years ago, just 5 years ago, right? Most agents, that was still where they were spending almost all their money, was offline media, offline advertising. But that's changed. That's changed in just the last 5 years. Now there's kind of been like a great awakening, right, amongst realtors, and they're all realizing like, wait, I've been doing this for 25 years, or I've been spending my money on the same newspaper ad for 15 years in a row, and it's not really working anymore. So agents are realizing like, that worked for me 10 years ago or 20 years ago, but it's not really working anymore. And so slowly they've been shifting those advertising dollars online. And so there's way more real estate agents advertising online today as there were 5 years ago, right? So tens of millions of dollars, maybe it's hundreds of millions of dollars, I don't know. is now chasing the same amount of leads. And most of that money was offline just 5 years ago. It was spread out again amongst billboards, direct mail, newspaper advertising, radio, et cetera, right? Now all that money is online and it's chasing the same leads. And so the demand has gone way up, but the supply of leads has stayed the same, right? And so again, we learned about this on the first day of economics class. What happens when the supply of something stays the same, but demand goes way up, right? Well, it's pretty obvious. The price goes up, right? When demand goes way up, but supply stays the same, it bids the price up. The price rises. That is what has happened in the last 5 years with Google, right? Because pretty much all real estate searches online start with Google, right? And so Google's algorithm is built to mimic an actual real live auction, right? So if there's a bunch more demand for a keyword, right, the price goes up, right? Because they want to maximize the amount of money that they can charge on a cost per click. So if they sense there's more demand and more agents are putting their advertising dollars on Google, right, for pay-per-click leads, the price goes up. That's just naturally how it works, right? And so I know there's a lot of people watching this right now and you're thinking, but wait, I don't advertise on Google. I advertise on Zillow. Why are my leads so much more expensive, right? Well, ask yourself, where do you think Zillow gets the leads, right? Zillow gets them from Google. So if Google becomes more expensive, they just pass that cost on to Zillow, and Zillow is not going to eat that. They're going to just charge you more money. They're going to pass the cost on to you. So Zillow gets all their clicks and ultimately leads from Google. So if Google becomes more expensive, Zillow automatically becomes more expensive too. And that's what has happened in the last 5 years. There's just way more demand for those keywords. Now I know there's a ton of people on this webinar this morning that are naturally thinking, hey, wait, but I don't get my leads from Zillow or Google. I get my leads from Sync, or I get my leads from Boomtown, right? Well, again, ask yourself, realistically, where do you think Boomtown gets the leads? Or where do you think Commissions Inc. gets the leads? They get them from Google too, right? And so if Google becomes more expensive just because of fundamental macroeconomic supply and demand issues, if Google becomes more expensive, Boomtown's going to get more expensive too, or the leads you get from Commissions Inc. are going to be more expensive too. They're all fishing from the same pond, right? And so if Google becomes more expensive, you have to realize pretty much all of the real estate marketing companies and all the real estate marketing programs out there, whether it's Boomtown, Commissions Inc., or obviously the big portal websites like obviously Realtor.com, Zillow, they're all, at the end of the day, they're getting their clicks from Google. They're all fishing from the same pond. And so if Google becomes more expensive, it's kind of like the well is poisoned, right? It's more expensive for everyone downstream because they're all fishing from the same pond. And so I want you to know that they pretty much all have the same business model. They're just a middleman for Google clicks, right? All these companies, Boomtown, Commissions Inc., obviously Zillow, Realtor.com, they're just a middleman for Google clicks. And so if Google becomes more expensive, they're going to pass that cost right on to you. So I recommend that you cut out the middleman, because that's the way that you can rapidly cut your cost per lead and grow your business way faster without having to necessarily invest a ton more into advertising dollars, right? So again, pretty much every real estate marketing company out there has the same exact business model. They're just buying low and selling high with Google clicks, and that's how they make their money, right? There's nothing morally or ethically wrong with that. It's capitalism. That's how it works. They have to make a profit, but you need to realize that's what's going on, right? Again, so if Google gets more expensive, everything downstream gets more expensive too, right? And so this costs agents thousands of dollars a year in wasted advertising budgets, because the cost per click is getting more expensive, but they're not necessarily generating more leads the more money they put in, right? Their budget and their cost per lead is going up, but the number of leads isn't going up, right? And what most agents do to respond to this is they think, well, I'll just have to spend more money on ads, I guess, right? If I was spending $1,000 a month on Zillow, 5 years ago, and now I'm getting way fewer leads, I guess I'll just have to start spending, $1,500 a month, not $1,000 a month. And the problem is that works for maybe a couple months, but remember that Google cost per click or Google pay per click, right, works on an auction-based algorithm. And so if you throw more money at it, temporarily, yes, you will generate more leads because you will outbid all the other people. But eventually, Google's algorithm learns that, hey, you're willing to spend $1,500 a month for those impressions, they're just going to up what they're charging you and start charging you $1,500 a month pretty soon for the same amount of impressions, because you're signaling the algorithm that you're willing to spend more money for those keywords and that there's more demand essentially for those keywords because you're willing to now spend $1,500 to where most other people were spending $1,000. And so eventually the algorithm learns, hey, there's $1,500 worth of demand for this where there used to be $1,000. And so guess what? That $1,500 a month now gets you the same amount of leads that $1,000 a month was getting you. Eventually it catches up to you, right? So throwing more money at the problem actually makes the problem worse. So it's not as simple as just upping your advertising budget. Because of the way the algorithm works, it learns. And so throwing more money actually makes it worse because you're permanently bidding up the cost per click. And that works against you, right? And so throwing more money on it is like dumping gasoline on a fire. It just makes it worse. And so you have to actually outsmart other agents with a better marketing strategy in general, because you can't just outspend them, right? And so remember, all these marketing companies, right, they're getting their leads from the same place, Google. They're all fishing from the same pond. So I recommend that we actually find a new pond, right? So rather than trying to compete against them and just throwing more money at the problem and basing our entire business plan on where there's the most competition, low-hanging fruit, right? I mean, Zillow, Realtor.com, Commission Sync, Boomtown, all of those are low-hanging fruit leads, right? Because they're getting them from Google, right? Let's find a new pond entirely. Let's build a new marketing strategy entirely where not only do we have minimal competition, we have zero competition, right? So this is what we call the high-hanging fruit strategy or the platform strategy. And I really think it's the best of both worlds because we're going to get more leads every month, about 200. That's the actual statistical average. Most agents that use this platform strategy or this high-hanging fruit strategy, they're going to get about 200 leads a month. And that's the actual average, right? That's not a best case scenario. That's the actual average. But not only are you going to get way more leads every month, you're also going to have a higher conversion rate on those leads, which is frankly more important. I'd rather have a higher conversion rate than have more leads, right? Because ultimately at the end of the day, leads don't grow your business, closings do, right? Closings are what put money in your pocket, not clicks or leads, right? And so with a higher conversion rate, that's what really helps you make more money. Again, we call this the platform strategy, right? And to make this work the best right now, we have to exit Google entirely, this Google industrial complex. I recommend Facebook ads because Facebook is kind of the wild, wild west of online marketing today. So Facebook is the wild, wild west. Facebook, in terms of the CPMs and the cost per click, Facebook is where Google was like 5 to 7 years ago, right? Where now on Google, you're often paying $40 a lead, $50 a lead. Facebook, the cost per click is still cheap enough where we can get clicks for 30, 40, 50 cents a piece. That because the cost per click is that cheap, the cost per lead is cheap too. So we're getting leads for $5 a piece on Facebook, sometimes $4 a lead, in many cases $3 a lead. I'll show you some of the Facebook campaigns here in just a minute that are getting leads consistently for $3 a piece, right? So again, Facebook is kind of the wild, wild west of online advertising. It's where Google was, 5 years ago, 7 years ago, right? This is where like the real players are playing because you can generate so many leads and you don't have to spend a bunch of money, right? So let's talk about the specific Facebook ads that actually work to move your business forward, right? As we get clear on that, you need to realize that what makes a Facebook ad work is actually very, very different than what makes a Google ad work. So pretty much 99% of the real estate industry uses Google to get their leads, right? And Google usually, when a home buyer clicks on a Google ad, right, they get redirected to an agent's IDX website, right? And pretty much all the IDX websites out there work the same, whether you're using Boomtown for your website or Commission Sync or Playster or Real Geeks, right? Like pretty much all the companies are the same. It's just a website where you can, search for homes, and then once they viewed, let's say 4 homes, and boom, they get a pop-up. Or once they've been on your website for 30 seconds, there's a timer that goes off in the background of the website, and boom, you get a pop-up. And that pop-up pops up as someone is, just like innocently searching for homes. And it says, hey, to continue searching for homes, please enter your name, email, and phone number to create an account, right? Or you must register to continue viewing homes, right? So you're basically forcing someone to give you their contact information just to keep looking at homes, right? The problem with this strategy, and again, this is how honestly 99% of people do it. The problem is that's not really adding value, right? That's more of like a hostage situation. That's not really adding unique value to the person. If you're offering a trade of like, hey, give me all your contact information just so you can keep looking at homes, right? Because people have wised up in 2018. It's not 2014 anymore, right, guys? It's 2018. It's August 2018 right now. People aren't stupid. They know that, well, why would I give this person, you know, my phone number, my email address, my name, if I could just go look at homes for free on realtor.com, or I can look at homes for free on Zillow, right? They're not like super excited about giving you all their contact information when they can get that for free elsewhere without having to give all that contact info, right? It's not really a fair trade. At the end of the day, lead generation should be a fair trade. Like, I'm giving you something of value in exchange for your contact information, right? You have to offer value. It's a trade, right? I mean, even on this webinar right now, right? As we wrap this up this morning, realize what got you on the webinar? Like, why are you here listening to me talk right now? Why are you attending this training? Honestly, the real reason, if you're honest with yourself, the real reason is that you wanted a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit, right? So we offered something super valuable in exchange for your contact information. And you were willing to give us, you know, your name, your phone number, your email address, because you wanted a free copy of that book. We offered you real value, right? By the way, just some inside baseball, we spent about $1,000 on this webinar, generated about 200 leads. And so that means our cost per lead, you know, 1,000 divided by 200 was about $5 cost per lead. But we're targeting the entire United States of America, targeting realtors all across the country. And so if you're in a local market, you know, and, you know, most agents are only targeting maybe a 5-mile radius or at the most a 10-mile radius, your cost per lead is going to be cheaper than $5. It's probably going to be $4 or even $3 per lead, right? But the point is, what got you on this webinar this morning is that we offered you real value in exchange for your contact information. It was a trade, right? You give us your name, email, and phone number, and in exchange for that, we will give you a copy of the book, right? And so in the moment you saw the Facebook ad, you were probably thinking at a subconscious level, well, I don't really want to give them my name, email, and phone number because I don't want to sign up for some other list or get a bunch of emails or whatever. But if I get a free book, I suppose that's a fair trade. I suppose I'm willing to trade that if I get a free book because it's a fair trade, right? So even if you didn't consciously think that, at a subconscious level, that's the mental thought process that got you on this webinar, right? It was a fair trade. And so you need to create marketing campaigns that offer a fair trade. The way that most real estate marketing companies are doing this, you know, with IDX websites that demand that you give all your contact information, you know, or else you can't keep looking at homes, that's not a fair trade. It's more of like a hostage situation because people can go to Zillow or realtor.com and, you know, get all that for free without having to trade anything. It's just not a very good value. Right. And then it shouldn't surprise us then that most agents using these marketing systems, you know, like Boomtown, Commission Sync, all these other website companies, you know, Real Geeks, Playster, right? They're all pretty much the same thing, right? It shouldn't be surprising then that half the leads that you get from these companies are fake. It's fake contact information, fake names, fake emails, you know, fake phone numbers, right? It shouldn't be surprising. It's almost like an epidemic in the real estate industry right now. Where agents complain about, oh, all my leads are fake. Like, yeah, I'm getting leads, but half of them are, you know, phone numbers that are disconnected or they're fake email addresses or they're fake names, you know, like John Doe, right? It shouldn't be surprising because you didn't offer them value. It wasn't a fair trade. Like, you weren't giving something they actually wanted. And so, of course, they put in fake contact information. They just wanted to look at homes. They were just casually looking. They weren't ready to have a real estate agent contact them yet. So it follows that if we want to build lead generation campaigns that work to get us 200 warm leads a month, we actually have to offer real value, right? It can't just be click here and give me all your contact information for no, you know, like for no reason, right? It has to be an actual fair trade. And so we have figured this out. At Platform, we've kind of cracked the code. We figured it out for you. What we do is we target move up buyers, right? That's kind of the secret sauce is when you use Facebook ads to generate move up buyers, you're kind of almost getting like a BOGO, like a buy one, get one. Right? Buy one, get one free. In that you target a move-up buyer, and not only are they going to buy a bigger, more expensive house where you get to represent them on the buy side, But if you do the targeting correctly and you build Facebook ads the right way, using this high hanging fruit strategy I'll show you in a second, you're not just getting that buyer, they also have a home they're going to sell, so you get that listing too. So you can kind of like get double the effectiveness of the average real estate agent's advertising budget, because if you focus it on move-up buyers, again, you're getting 2 for 1. It's 1 lead, but it'll end up being 2 transactions and therefore 2 commission checks for you. So that's how we recommend structuring your Facebook ads. But again, you have to offer real value if you want people to actually give you their real name and the real email address and their real phone number. You have to offer real value. So here's the ads that I recommend running if you actually want to offer real value and then therefore generate a bunch of leads, right? The cool thing is we've already split tested the ads that I'll show you with not just hundreds or not just thousands, but actually hundreds of thousands of dollars. So you don't have to spend time or spend your own money trying to test different ads and see what works. We've already done all that hard work for you. Like, we already know the ads that work. You can practically just copy and paste them, right? One more point I want to make before I actually show you these specific ads you should be running is that these actually convert 10 times higher than the average IDX website. With Playster or Boomtown or Real Geeks, 10 times higher than the average IDX website. The reason is the average IDX website, just to back up what I'm saying with some actual statistics, 97 to 98% of people who go to an IDX website, they visit, they look at homes, and they don't sign up, right? They leave, they bounce, right? So in other words, that means only 2% or 3% of people who are going to your IDX website are actually giving you their contact information. In other words, you're wasting 97% of your marketing budget on people that click, and you have to pay for that click, with Google ads, but then they go to your website and you never capture their contact information, so you can't follow up with them, right? These websites and these Facebook ads, using this high-hanging fruit idea that I'll show you, they don't convert 2%, they convert an average of 25% to 30%. So literally the landing page conversion rate is 10 times higher than what the average real estate is doing with their marketing plan. Not double or triple, but 10 times higher than the average conversion rate. So that's a big deal, right? That's a really big deal in terms of how quickly you can grow your business if your conversion rate is 10 times higher than your competition's, right? So here's the ads that I recommend running. The first one, I call it the Pool Homes Report. So let's say that you're in, like Tampa, Florida, right? The Pool Homes Report is a lead generation ad that we run on Facebook where we're offering a free report of all the listings that have a pool, right? And so what the ad looks like is we just grab a picture of a home in Tampa that has a pool, and that's the image on the Facebook ad, right? What the Facebook copy says, what the ad says is, "Attention, Tampa. I've created a free report of homes for sale here in the Tampa area that have pools. To view the homes, go to www.tampapoolhomesreport.com." Right? So, "Attention, Tampa. I've created a free report of homes for sale here in the Tampa area that have pools. To view the homes, go to www.tampapoolhomesreport.com." Right? And then obviously when they click that link, it brings them to a landing page that's where we then ask for their contact information so we can send them an MLS link of all the homes in the area that have pools, right? And this landing page converts on average. Again, guys, I've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars testing this ad. So this is a very large sample size. I know that this works. So these numbers are from a very large sample size. You can trust it, in other words. The average landing page, when you build it this way, it's going to get you leads converting at probably 25 to 30% on the landing page, right? So those clicks convert at 25 to 30%. How we target the Facebook ad behind the scenes, again, because we want to target move-up buyers, right? We target homeowners that are over the age of 30. So that's how we target the Facebook ad in the actual ads targeting, is homeowners over the age of 30, or we'll use proxy targeting metrics like, people that are over the age of 30 that are married, or people over the age of 30 that have a college degree, right? Because those are good proxy metrics for homeowners because there's a lot of overlap there. So essentially what we're trying to do is target people who already own a house that want to buy a bigger, nicer home with a pool, right? So we're getting the listing lead and the move up buy lead, right, in one, kind of like a BOGO lead, buy one, get one free, right? And so the reason this ad works so well compared to what most real estate agents are doing with social media ads, because, you know, like you've all heard agents talk about, well, I tried Facebook ads and it didn't work. I spent a bunch of money and I got some likes, but I didn't get any actual leads, right? The reason their ads don't work is they're not offering value, right? They haven't really thought out a strategy of how to generate leads. Well, the reason this ad works, kind of the hidden psychology that makes this Pool Homes Report ad work, is that what we know is 99% of people clicking on an ad and ultimately signing up for a free report of homes that have a pool, like 99% of those leads, they're not first-time home buyers. So they're not like, you know, the stereotypical crappy internet lead where, you know, it's a first-time home buyer who has a credit score of 400 and they need down payment assistance. You know, these are not those leads, right? These are move-up buyer leads where they already own a house and they're buying a bigger, nicer house. So just by offering a free report of homes with a pool, what we know is that people buying homes with pools, like 9 times out of 10, or maybe even 99 times out of 100, they're not a first-time home buyer, right? Because first-time home buyers don't go out and buy expensive $350,000 or $400,000 homes with pools, right? They just don't. Usually they buy starter homes. And so what we know is that almost all the leads coming in, again, they're listing leads, they're move-up buyers, right? And so the lead quality on this campaign is way higher than the typical quote unquote internet lead, right? That most agents are getting off of Google or off of social media, right? And I know if you're in a market that's not, you know, a pool market where there's a bunch of pool homes, maybe you're not in Florida, or, you know, you're not in the Phoenix area, you know, or, you know, California where there's lots of pool homes. Maybe you're somewhere more rural. Maybe you're in like the Midwest, or you're in Montana, or you're in Fargo, North Dakota, or you're, you know, in Maine somewhere, right? And you're like, hey, like, what do I do? There's not a lot of pool homes. How can I generate these style of leads, right? Well, what I would recommend running is an ad that we've tested. It uses the same psychology as the Pool Homes Report, but we just call it the Acreage Homes Report. So essentially what you're offering is a free report of homes in your area that have acreage, right? And you can define what that means. You know, maybe in your market, you know, home with acreage means it has to have at least 1 acre, or maybe, you know, in your market, a home that has acreage means it has half an acre, right? You can decide however you define that, right? But let's say you're in like Fargo, North Dakota, right? So how I would do this is I would set up an ad where the ad on Facebook says, "Attention Fargo. I've created a custom list of homes for sale that have acreage. To view the homes, go to www.fargoacreagehomesreport.com." Right? And then you build a landing page, and when they sign up, then obviously you email them a list of all the homes, you know, in the area that have acreage, right? And how you target that ad, again, is we're targeting homeowners over the age of 30, or, you know, people with college degrees over the age of 30, or married couples over the age of 30. Because what we're ultimately wanting to do, again, is target move-up buyers, right? And so if you're in a more rural area, then the Acreage Homes Report works great, because, again, what we know about the psychology of this is that 99 out of every 100 leads who click on this ad and sign up and give you their contact information, they're not a first-time home buyer. If they're buying a bigger, nicer home with some land, like with acreage, they're not doing that as a first-time home buyer. They probably already own a starter home, and they're ready to upgrade and buy a bigger, nicer home with some land because maybe they have a family or they have dogs they want to let run around. Like, you know, they're not a first-time home buyer, right? So you're going to get 2 transactions out of it, and therefore two commission checks, right? So with both these campaigns, the Acreage Homes Report, the Pool Homes Report, they can very, very rapidly grow your business, because the average cost per lead is usually about $3 per lead. And so again, every $100 you spend on one of these campaigns, you're probably going to bring in 100 leads. Or excuse me, every $100 you spend, you'll probably bring in about 30 leads, because the cost per lead is only about $3, right? So just imagine if every $3 you spent on marketing brought in a lead, right? So, oh, cool, I spent $100 last week on a lead gen campaign, and just for $100, I brought in over 30 leads that were move-up buyers, right? Because they were requesting information on an Acreage Homes Report or a Pool Homes Report, right? So you can move your business forward very, very quickly when the math works out that way and the leads are coming in that cheaply. That's how we've doubled so many agents' businesses, and we've tripled a lot of agents' businesses even. We've tripled their GCI, because the leads come in that cheap, and they're not just crappy first-time homebuyer leads that are hoping to find a fixer-upper foreclosure, you know, because they have bad credit. These are high-quality leads. They're move-up buyer leads, right? And so we're out of time, guys. I have to wrap up this webinar. So if you want to see more examples of lead generation campaigns that are working, I'll send you a template of 5 specific Facebook campaigns, again, that we've already tested. We know that they work. Just grab that at www.platformmarketingpdf.com. So I'll give you 5 seconds to go there right now. If you want, again, 5 more examples of ads that are working right now to generate leads beyond the Pool Homes report and the Acreage Homes report, just go to platformmarketingpdf.com. I'll give you a couple seconds to grab that right now. Cool. That also provided a nice break for me to take a sip of water, because I'm talking so much on this webinar, my throat starts to get dry, right? So if you went there, you realize, yeah, we asked you for your name and your email at platformmarketingpdf.com. And many of you are probably wondering, well, why did you even ask for my name and email? Because you already have that, right? Like, why would we ask again for it to send you this? Well, honestly, the real reason we have this slide in the webinar training isn't that we need to generate leads, because by definition, if you're on the webinar, we already have your contact information, right? So the real reason we have this slide on here at platformmarketingpdf.com, like where you can download that. And by the way, it is a real download, right? So I am going to actually send you those 5 ads. But the real reason that we have this on here is just to prove a point to you that if you actually offer something of value, generating leads is actually pretty easy. It's pretty simple, right? So lots of agents think that, oh, you know, no one wants to click on Facebook ads anymore. No one wants to give up their contact information anymore online. You know, I've tried it. Facebook ads don't work, or, you know, online marketing doesn't work. Like, people don't like signing up for stuff, right? That's just not true. If you actually offer something of value, people are happy to give you their contact information, and more importantly, their real contact information, their real name, their real phone number, their real email address. The fact that you're on this webinar right now is proof of that, right? Because we offered you a free copy of the book. We offered real value in exchange for your contact information, right? So there's this myth out there that there's like a shortage of buyer and seller leads anymore that are willing to give, give up their contact information. You know, there's just a shortage of people that click on ads anymore, right? Like, Facebook marketing or online marketing doesn't work anymore. There's not a shortage of buyer and seller leads out there, because trust me, our clients that work with us at Platform, where they basically just hire us to do it all for them, trust me, I mean, they're getting 200 leads a month. That's the actual average, right? That's the average. So there's not a shortage of buyer and seller leads out there. Where there's a shortage of real estate agents that are putting any creativity into their marketing whatsoever and actually building lead generation campaigns that are worth signing up for, right? So to get 5 more examples, you can just grab that for free at platformmarketingpdf.com. So guys, we're out of time. I'm going to skip ahead to the end of the webinar. I have some extra slides here, but I'll just skip ahead to the end so you can get a free copy of the book as promised. And then I'm going to show you a quick video. When I say quick, I literally mean it's a 10-second video of an agent who's working with Platform actually right now to generate leads. And he's already done more business in 2018 than he did in all of 2017, right? So that's a really great example of high-hanging fruit, is when your business is growing that rapidly. And then there's actually one more bonus that I want to give you guys on top of the free book, right? So yes, everyone who's on here is going to get a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit, but there's one more bonus I think is actually even more valuable than that. I'm going to make an offer to you where if you want us to, we will actually do all your marketing for you. And so again, as an additional bonus on top of sending you a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit, I'm going to make an offer where we will do all your marketing for you. So we're actually going to offer you a trial month of Platform Marketing, where we will set up all these Facebook campaigns and these lead generation ads, retargeting, and the email follow-up and the text message follow-up. Like, we will build out an entire marketing system for you on a trial month. And everyone who's on the webinar can sign up for that trial month. All right. So I think that's an even more valuable bonus than getting a free copy of the book, but I'll share more about that in about 5 minutes. So just hang with me. But everyone is going to get that bonus if they want it, right? So as I fly through the rest of these slides, really the last slide I have on here that I want to talk about is this idea of fishing upstream, because that's just a perfect kind of closing summary of what high hanging fruit is all about. So fishing upstream, right? What fishing upstream means is, let's say that you and some friends are at a river, you're fishing, you've all got your lines cast in, you're standing maybe a foot or two apart. And because you're kind of just casually, socializing, right? All your lines are cast in kind of the same area because you're standing pretty close so you can talk, right? And if that's the case, it's a zero-sum game. For you to catch a fish, that's now a fish that your friend can't catch, right? Or if they catch one, you can't catch that same fish. It's a zero-sum game. For someone to win, someone else has to lose, right? Because it's a finite game. There's lots of competition for that area, of the stream or of the river, right? So what would happen if you walked 100 yards upstream, right? Or even 100 feet upstream? You would catch all the fish before they got downstream to where everyone else was fishing, right? You would essentially intercept all the fish before they got to where everyone else was fishing. So fishing upstream is a lot like high hanging fruit, right? We're intercepting all the leads in your market when they're kind of in that doing research phase, 2 or 3 months typically before they get ready to buy or sell a house. That's when they start researching online, right? And so if we can generate the leads 2 or 3 months before other realtors do, that gives us a 2 or 3 month head start on all the other realtors in converting these leads. And so because there's no competition, we have a head start. We'll convert way more leads because we're probably the only real estate agent they're talking to for those couple months, right? So if we can convert the lead in that time, when it actually gets time for them to, interview multiple agents on listing appointments, or when it comes time to call, multiple agents or mortgage companies to see, who they'll use to buy a house, they're actually not going to do that. They're not going to call multiple agents. They're not going to interview a bunch of realtors. They'll just go with you because you've already earned their trust, because you had a 2 or 3 month kind of unfair advantage, like a head start on other realtors. That's what high hanging fruit is all about. So yes, we can generate 200 warm leads a month, and that certainly helps you grow your business a lot if you have that many leads coming in. But the real reason it works is because, we're fishing upstream, we're, cultivating these high hanging fruit style leads. It's not just the number of leads coming in, you'll have a higher conversion rate on those leads because you're giving yourself, again, a 2 or 3 month head start, right? That's what this is all about. That's the real reason that so many of these agents are actually doubling their GCI. Right, so here's the quick video I'm going to show you. It's literally 10 seconds long, right? After this video, then I'll give you a free copy of the book, High Hanging Fruit, as promised, right? And then after I give you the free copy of the book, then I'm going to talk about this other bonus that I'm pretty excited about. You can sign up for Platform on a trial month, and we'll do all of your marketing for you. We'll build all your ads for you, right? So check out this video, then I'll give you a free copy of the book. Then we'll talk a little bit more about the platform marketing system and how you can get signed up on a trial month.
I have a pipeline in 2018 that is as large as everything that I closed in 2017. What else can you say?
So that is Tom Douglas. Tom's a realtor kind of in the Birmingham area. And the cool thing is he actually filmed this video, I think, in February of this year, so February 2018. And so he had done more already in production in February of 2018 than he did in all of 2017, thanks to this high hanging fruit, thanks to this platform strategy, right? So that's what is possible in your business if you really take action on this, right? I mean, it's these results and these video examples, these case studies that I've showed you, a lot of them are almost too good to be true. It's like, hey, I'm skeptical, right? And that's why we had agents film videos, because if I just told you, it almost sounds too good to be true. That's why we asked them to go on video, so you realize that this is true. This is really happening for agents around the country, right? So to get a free copy of the book, as promised, I know that's the reason you ultimately, at the start of this, that's why you hopped on the webinar this morning, right? You can get that for free at www.highhangingfruitbook.com. All right, www.highhangingfruitbook.com. So just to be clear, to get that free book, it's not highhangingfruit.com. It's www.highhangingfruitbook.com. That's where you can go to get the free copy of your book. We'll actually send it to you in the mail. It's a real book. It's not like some BS, ebook download. So it is a legit real book, www.highhangingfruitbook.com. All right, so that's where you can get a free copy of the book. Now I want to share with you a little bit more about the platform marketing strategy and how, if you're interested, you can sign up for a trial month. And by the way, we have no contract. So I want to be really clear on that, that when I say trial month, it's not a trial month, but then you're locked into a 6-month contract. It's not like DirecTV or Comcast, right, where they kind of like trick you with with a bait and switch, right? It is a true trial month. So there's no contracts whatsoever. You're not locked into anything at all, right? So if you want to try Platform on that trial month, go to www.platformmarketmap.com. That's where you can get signed up for the trial month. www.platformmarketmap.com, and we will build all your marketing campaigns for you. So if you were interested by some of the ideas and the ad campaigns and kind of the lead gen strategies that I shared in this webinar, but maybe you're not like super confident that you have time in the day or that you even know how to build all that stuff, here's the good news. We'll do it for you. We will build all the lead gen campaigns for you. And in your very first trial month, you'll actually receive over 100 warm leads in the very first month, right? We'll do all of it for you. We'll build the Facebook ads, the landing pages, the email sequences, the follow-up text message sequences, the retargeting campaigns. We even edit all of your videos for you. So it's like having a full-blown personal marketing department, right? And you can try it on a trial month, right? So www.platformmarketmap.com. There is a catch though. There is a catch to all this. I'm going to show you this quick video of Brittany Obi. She's a really, really happy client that's been working with Platform in Georgia, and she has some pretty cool results. And so after this video, I'll share with you there is a catch that you need to know about.
Hey, I just want to give a real quick update on how my platform business has been over the last 2 weeks. I've actually been able to get 4 of my platform clients under contract, ready to close within the next 30 to 45 days. In the pipeline, I have well over $2.5 million in volume that hopefully will be closing within the next 60 days. This is definitely the best decision that I've ever made in my real estate business. Thanks so much, Platform.
Awesome. So, I mean, clearly you can tell she's getting amazing results. She's in kind of the northern suburbs of Atlanta. So I think like the Alpharetta area is where Brittany is. But again, to get signed up on that platform marketing trial, if you want us to build all of your marketing campaigns, all of your lead gen, we will set up all those ads for you. So ultimately, all you have to do is watch the leads pour in, and you just have to follow up with warm leads because we're actually going to build all the ads for you, right? If you want to get set up on that, just go to www.platformmarketmap.com, right? So I said there's a catch. Here's the catch. We only work with 1 real estate agent per market, right? 1 realtor per market. So unlike, Boomtown or Curator or Realtor.com or Zillow, right? Where they're working with dozens of people like per zip code. Right? So if you're in a mid-sized city like even Charleston, right? Charleston, South Carolina isn't a huge area with 5 million people, right? But even so, there's like dozens, if not hundreds of agents in a town like Charleston that are using Curator, Commissions Inc., Boomtown, right? So if you have Boomtown, you have the same exact ads as all the other agents in your area using Boomtown. There's probably people in your office using Boomtown, right? Same thing with Sync, same thing with Curator, right? They work with tens of thousands of agents around the country. So your marketing is the same as your competition's. The only difference is that, it's your name on the ad, not theirs. The ads are identical. And that makes it actually really difficult to grow your business because your marketing is the same. You don't stand out at all, right? So to get around that, Platform is very, very different from all the other marketing programs, all the other marketing companies out there for realtors. We only work with 1 real estate agent per market. So let's say you're in Charleston, right? We have a client there, Jonathan Crompton. He's the only real estate agent in the entire Charleston area, including the suburbs like Mount Pleasant. He gets that whole area to himself. He's the only real estate agent that we work with there, right? He gets the whole Charleston area to himself. So Platform is extremely exclusive. And that's another huge reason that it works so well is that we're not working with dozens of agents, per city. We only work with 1 realtor per city, and they get the entire city, right? So we also have a client, Danny Springfield. She's in San Antonio. She doesn't just get 1 zip code of San Antonio, for example, right? She gets all of San Antonio, right? So even in a larger city like San Antonio, she gets the entire thing all to herself. So it's exclusive to her. She has exclusive rights to that city. So reserve your market before someone else does, because we are very strict on that. We only work with 1 real estate agent per city, right? So it's first come, first serve. So click to reserve your market, honestly, just before someone else does. First come, first serve. So to get signed up on the trial month and then therefore reserve your market, because we only work with one realtor per market, www.platformmarketmap.com. That's www.platformmarketmap.com. Right. So here's a quick video of Jose. He didn't just double his business. He didn't just triple his business. Here's an example of someone who actually quadrupled his GCI. So he actually quadrupled his business. Again, if you want results like Jose, go to www.platformmarketmap.com.
Hey guys, if you're still skeptical about high-hanging fruit, let's just break down the numbers real quick. In 2013, I did 25 deals. I then implemented high-hanging fruit platforms so that you know. In 2014, I went from 25 to 50 deals. In 2015, I went from 50 deals to 70 deals, baby. And now in 2016, I'm making over 100 transactions so that you know. And now that I have my team in place in 2016, just imagine what I'm going to do in 2017. Make it a phenomenal day.
That's just an awesome story. I mean, again, he didn't just double his business. He didn't just triple his business. Jose quadrupled his GCI, right? So to find out if your market is available, because again, the catch, I guess, like if you want to call it that, the catch about all this is that we only work with one agent per market, right? And it's not just one agent per neighborhood or one agent per zip code. You get the entire city you're in. So if you're in Fargo, North Dakota, you get all of Fargo, right? Not just one zip code, but you get all of Fargo. If you're in Nashville, you get all of Nashville, not just one zip code, but all of Nashville, right? So we're very, very exclusive, and that's a huge reason that our clients get such great results, because you will be the only realtor in your market running these high-hanging fruit style ads, right? So you have a monopoly on your market. You get exclusive rights to it, right? And it is first come, first serve, right? So grab your market, honestly, before someone else does. www.platformmarketmap.com. Here's a quick video of Danny. Danny's a realtor in Texas who added nearly $200,000 to her GCI. So not 50,000 or not 100,000, but nearly $200,000 she added to her GCI because of platform. And I asked her to film a quick video specifically for people actually watching this webinar. And I just asked Danny, like, hey, what would you tell someone who was watching this webinar training about high-hanging fruit and about platform? What would you tell them if maybe like they were thinking about signing up for that marketing trial month, but they weren't entirely sure? Like maybe they were skeptical or they just weren't sure if they wanted to try it for a month. What would you tell them? Because keep in mind, we're offering a trial month. You're not locked into any contracts. There's not an annual contract or a 6-month contract. It is totally month to month. We have no contracts whatsoever. So it's totally month to month. Here's what Danny said for those of you on this webinar.
Danny, I am a realtor in Texas. If you're watching this, it's probably because you're interested in the platform trial month. I have to tell you, you would be crazy not to take them up on that. When I started with Platform about 18 months ago, I didn't get a trial or any kind of discount, but it has hands down been the best investment I ever made in my business. When I first started with them, I was doing about probably 100,000 in income, so about a little over about 4 million in GCI, or excuse me, in production. Now, today, after being there a little over a year and a half, I have doubled, almost quadrupled that, and we'll do about 275 in GCI this year.
So again, she directly added an extra $175,000 to her take-home pay. Notice, by the way, throughout this webinar training this morning, notice that I don't talk about the number of clicks, or I don't talk about the number of like Instagram followers or Facebook likes that you have, because those are all just kind of like vanity metrics, right? Like who cares about the number of likes you have on Facebook or the number of clicks that your ads get? Notice that in all of these video examples of agents that are using the platform marketing system, that they don't talk about clicks or Facebook likes. They talk about the actual increase in their GCI, like how much their business actually grew, you know, how much more money they're actually taking home, right? Because that's ultimately what matters about marketing. You know, marketing is not about getting clicks or likes. It's about making you more money, right? So Danny added an extra $175,000 to her take-home pay every year that she can directly track back to the leads she's getting from platform marketing.
Actually hired my first buyer's agent. I also have a part-time administrative person. So it's just been a really good decision, and to be able to try it out for a discounted price is awesome. And I wish I would have gotten to do that. But, you know, I still made an incredible return on that investment. So I definitely would highly recommend it.
So again, if you want the same marketing program that Danny's using, right, to reserve your market before someone else does, go to www.platformmarketmap.com. Like here's an email that we received actually basically just a month ago from Claire. Claire is a realtor who's now working with platform marketing in the Florida Keys. And this is an email that she sent us. You can see right here on June 29th. And just so you know, that's June 29th, 2018. So this is not like years old. This is, you know, basically just a month old that we got this email. And so we're getting case studies right now, you know, from clients that are loving platform, getting awesome results with platform marketing. You know, she's been in the business, you can see in the email, you know, for over 15 years. She's ready to take her business to the next level though. The local community is already, you know, responding. They're commenting on her ads. They're messaging her. She's getting phone calls from leads. That last sentence that she has there, I love, because that's what platform marketing and high hanging fruit is all about. So the last sentence there on that email she sent us, it says, "My pipeline is filling up," right? That's awesome. That's what this is all about. So if you want results like that, you know, and you want to be the only realtor in your market that gets to use platform because we're exclusive, right? Reserve your market before someone else does. Platformmarketmap.com, www.platformmarketmap.com, right? Let me show you a quick video. This is,
Hi, this is Crystal Boggs.
there you go. Her name is Crystal. I forgot her name for a second. This is Crystal, and she is in Mississippi, right? The reason I want to show you this quick video of Crystal is that Crystal talks about the results that she actually got in her very first month with platform. So this is the results that actually came in during the trial month. So I want to be clear that this doesn't take like 90 days to ramp up, or it doesn't take 2 or 3 or 4 months to start working. Like you will get over 100 warm leads in your very first month, even in that trial month, like the very first trial month, right? So Crystal actually filmed this video in the middle of her trial month. So I want you to realize this is how quickly you can get results. So we're, you know, it is what my phone says, August 7th today, right? Imagine that just by Labor Day, so a month from now, by Labor Day, you already have results like this in your business.
This is my first week with platform. I started Tuesday about 4 p.m. By Wednesday, I had 3 buyers pre-approved. By Sunday, 1 was in negotiations, 1 under contract, and 1 still viewing homes. It was an amazing week. Thank you, platform.
Again, all that happened in Crystal's very first month, right? So again, I mean, I've said it 10 times now, just to be really clear, it doesn't take months and months to get ramped up. Like platform starts working right away because you're going to be the only real estate agent in your entire market who's using platform, right? And so the ads aren't being diluted because there's, you know, 20 other agents or 50 other agents in your market, like with Boomtown or Curator or Zillow, you know, that are using the same ads as you, right? These ads will be unique to you, and you'll actually have contractual exclusive rights to your market, where you're the only realtor that'll get to work with platform in your market. So that's why it works so well and actually works so quickly, right? So if you want to use that marketing system, again, you can get signed up on a trial month, you know, no contracts, no risk. Get signed up on a trial month at www.platformmarketmap.com. Here's another example of someone who within his first 6 months of platform, he added an extra $100,000 to his GCI. And again, notice I'm not saying Facebook likes or a bunch of clicks. He actually tracked an extra $100,000 in closings and commission checks directly back to platform marketing. So it's an extra $100,000 in his pocket he otherwise wouldn't have earned. And it didn't even take him a year to make $100,000. He made that extra 100 in the first 6 months using platform. This is Rob Warwick. He's a realtor in North Carolina.
I just want to talk really quickly about my experience with platform. Been with them for about 6 months. We've added about $100,000 to my GCI. Plenty of leads for next year, and really, really powerful stuff as far as what Tim's able to do. And if you're on the fence about the marketing, you know, quit questioning it. It's well worth it. The team and Tim are great to work with, so I have no complaints, and we're looking for a better 2018, even though this year's already been a really, really productive half a year, really, with the platform and the whole company.
Again, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. I mean, he's not talking about the number of Instagram followers or Facebook likes or number of engagement, the number of clicks he gets. It ultimately comes down to money. That's why you start a marketing program, is to make more money, right? And in the first 6 months, he increased his commission checks, his take-home pay for him and his family. He made an extra $100,000 within 6 months of starting the platform system. So if you want results like that, check out www.platformmarketmap.com and reserve your market before someone else does, because it is first come, first serve. Here's another example. This kid is only 25 years old. This is Taylor Cresswell. He's our client in the Tampa Bay area. He's only 25 years old, and he added an extra $100,000 to his business.
Hey Brandon, this is Taylor. I'm a real estate agent down here in Tampa, 25 years old. Before I started joining with Platform, I made just under 40 grand, around 35. Last year in 2017, I closed over 7 million, made over 150 grand. And next year it's the $250,000 mark. I need to hit over 250. I definitely think that's Platform.
Again, he's only 25 years old, and he grew his business that much. Only 25 years old. I want to show you this video now of Danny Springfield. Danny, this is one of my favorite videos that I have here, because Danny grew her business by about 200,000 in GCI, which in and of itself, that's incredible. If you can add 200K to your business's commissions, right? So that's incredible by itself. But she's actually working less now than she was before, because what I talked about earlier in this webinar, where we free up your time, right? So you're only following up with warm leads and higher quality leads, where there's a higher conversion rate on the leads you're bringing in. She's actually working less now than she was before, even though her business has grown by about $7 to $8 million actually in production, right? And her husband is an engineer, and her husband, I mean, obviously engineers make, they make a pretty good salary. They're making so much more money now as a family that he quit his engineering job so he could join her real estate team and spend more time with the family. Right, so that's how much Danny's business has grown. Where her husband, his name's Travis, her husband quit his engineering job so he could spend more time with her on the real estate team. So that just gives you an idea of how much the business is growing, and now she gets to spend more time with her family, not less. I mean, her kid actually runs into this video when they were filming. You can see there's a yellow ball bouncing in the background, because right when they filmed this video, her kid chucked that ball at her. So she gets to spend more time with her family, not less. And her business is growing a lot. So it's, again, quality over quantity, right? Quality over quantity. This is a really cool video example of what can be possible for you and your family as a realtor with the Platform Marketing Program.
Hi, I'm Danny Springfield in San Antonio. My platform story starts, I've been in business and real estate for about 5 years. When I signed up, I was plateauing at about 13 to 15 million a year. I had another agent on board with me, but I knew that we could get a little bigger and do a little better. Most importantly, I wanted to do that in a scaled fashion. So signing up with Platform enabled me to build my business to about $20 million a year. But when I'm spending more time, I have 3 little kids, where I'm spending more time with them. My husband actually left his engineering job to join my team, and that has been such a godsend for our family. Our quality of life has increased dramatically, and we owe a lot of that to Platform. The biggest change has been the quality of leads, so you're not spending all your time chasing ones that aren't very good.
So I want to pause right there. I mean, how many video examples or case studies or testimonials, whatever you want to call it, how many times have you seen an agent brag about the quality of leads, right, for other marketing programs? Usually it's like, oh, I like the website, or it gets me a lot of clicks, or it gets me a lot of leads, but very rarely do you see an agent bragging about the quality of the leads. And that's what's grown Danny's business, is she knows the quality of the leads is so much higher with Platform than with other marketing systems that she's tried.
For our family, our quality of life has increased dramatically, and we owe a lot of that to Platform. The biggest change has been the quality of leads, so you're not spending all your time chasing ones that aren't very good. And maybe even most importantly for me has been that Platform, it gets me in front of my sphere for referral business so easily with very little effort on my part. So I'm a happy client. I'm happy to answer any questions you have, and I'm really just thankful to be part of the Platform family. Thanks.
Awesome. So again, it's www.platformmarketmap.com. platformmarketmap.com. If you want results like Danny's had, you can get the same marketing program that she's using, right? And you get to reserve your market, so you'll be the only realtor in your area using this, right? Not just in your zip code, but in your entire area. Platformmarketmap.com. And I also want to be clear that platform has no contracts. And so it's not like DirecTV or Comcast or something where we offer like a teaser rate, but you have to sign up for a 12-month contract, right? We have no contracts whatsoever. So it's totally month to month, no contracts, no risk. So to get started again with the same marketing system and strategy that Danny here is using, it's www.platformmarketmap.com, right? Platform does a lot of really cool things.
Hey guys.
With your branding and your video editing too. So it's not just Facebook lead gen campaigns or landing pages, right? Platform is really like a full-blown marketing department for you. So in addition to setting up all your ads and lead gen and the lead follow-up, with both emails and text messages, Platform really serves as your own marketing department. So we even edit all of your videos for you. So I know that that's something that, a company like Viral Marketing does. Well, we do all that too, all in one package, right? We even edit all of your videos for you. So it doesn't matter if you do one market update video per month, if you do listing videos, you do maybe like a top 5 video to highlight local restaurants in your area, like the top 5 taco trucks or the top 3 pizza places in Nashville. Those are videos that we advise and we coach clients on for retargeting to stay top of mind with your leads. We'll give you all the video ideas to do that, so you become kind of a local brand in your area. Like, you're not just known as a realtor, you're known as a local expert. That's a huge part of the platform strategy, right? And on top of all that, we're going to tell you what videos to film. We'll show you examples from other really successful clients that have built up a brand in their market because of this platform video and retargeting system. We're going to edit all those videos for you too. And it's really like an all-you-can-eat buffet. That's kind of what I call it. Is some companies will say, hey, we'll edit 1 video for you a month. We will edit as many videos as you want. So if you want to be really ambitious and film 10 videos every single month, and really aggressively build a local expert brand in your area because you're filming 10 new videos every month, we will edit 10 videos for you. It's an all-you-can-eat buffet, right? So imagine having hundreds of leads coming in every month because of these platform lead gen strategies, and cranking out videos where you become the go-to expert in your market and you build a local brand because of all the video content you're putting out. We'll edit all of those videos for you on top of managing all your lead gen. So as I said, it really is like having a personal marketing department. Here's a video of Jeff Downing. Jeff is a realtor up in Iowa, right? I mean, you can like literally see a cornfield behind him, right? The reason I want to show you this video is this is another example of someone who got killer results in their very first trial month with Platform, right? So it didn't take him 2 months to get results, or it didn't take him 3 months. He got results right away in his very first trial month. And he's in a small area, right? Like, you can literally see a cornfield behind him, right? So Platform works in big cities, small towns, suburbs, farm towns, everything in between. Platform just works. This is marketing that actually works, right? So this could be you in 30 days. Imagine having results like Jeff talks about here by Labor Day. So just think ahead to Labor Day. You could have results like this in just the next several weeks. To get started, go to www.platformmarketmap.com.
Jeff Downing here. I'm in Des Moines, Iowa. As you can see, the corn's growing right behind me, so I am definitely in Iowa. Just hit my 30-day anniversary with Platform, and I want to share with you some of my successes. First campaign, first night it's going, and wake up, my phone's got a full contact lead. Name, number, address, and then down at the bottom, the most beautiful thing in the world, says, yeah, I'm looking to buy a house in the next 90 days. We were able to get their home listed and get them upgraded in house. Both those houses went pending just last weekend, which is about $14,000 in GCI off my first day in my first month here in Platform. Also had a call, hey, love your video. We're looking to sell our house and upgrade. So just last night was on a listing appointment for $425,000. That's an at-bat I would not have had without Platform. I've also added literally hundreds of contacts into my drip campaigns and into my SOI. So that's been really, really cool. Finally, I love talking to my account administrator once a week. David, if you're out there, man, you're the best. Love chatting with him every Monday. We can look at the effectiveness of the ads. My ads.
And by the way, so what he's talking about there when he says he has an account manager is one thing we do at Platform that pretty much no other companies do is you get a one-on-one personal coaching call with us every single week. So it's not like a group call where it's you and 100 other agents, you know, on like a conference call line. It is a one-on-one personal consulting call with us every single week, like a personal one-on-one, right? You have an account manager who works with you. They manage all your ads. They're the ones editing your videos. And so it's not just some faceless corporation, you know, where you sign up and you never hear from us again until you quit or something, right? Because that's the way, honestly, most other companies are. Like the only time you would ever call Boomtown or call Curator or call, you know, Zillow is when you're calling them to quit, right? But we actually talk with our clients every week on the phone, one-on-one. So it really is like having a personal marketing department, right? So that's what he's talking about. David is his account manager. That's who he speaks to every single week. David is the one behind the scenes, split testing his ads, optimizing his ads, you know, editing all of his videos for him, giving him ideas on what the most important videos are to film to build a local brand in your area. And so that's what he's talking about there. That's just another way that Platform is radically different from all the other marketing companies out there. Not only are you going to be the only realtor that we work with in your whole market, we also give you personal attention, a one-on-one coaching call every single week to maximize the results that you're getting.
Finally, I love talking to my account administrator once a week. David, if you're out there, man, you're the best. Love chatting with him every Monday. We can look at the effectiveness of the ads, my ad spend, and he's also helped me with scripts, when to call back, what to say, email returns. Just get rejuvenated to start the week after talking with David every Monday. So that's been my experience with Platform. If you want to know more, please look me up.
Awesome. So again, that's Jeff Downing. He's in Iowa, and he is still a client, and he's kicking butt with Platform. So if you want results like that, www.platformmarketmap.com. All right. This is Justin Miller. Justin is a really cool case study because Justin's in kind of, I guess, what I would call a non-traditional market. Justin's in a market on kind of a luxury lake where, yeah, there's homes in his market that are $150,000, but a lot of the homes in his market are actually $1 million lake homes. And so it's not a, you know, it's not a normal real estate market, right? There's not a whole lot in between. Either it's like a $150,000 home or you're buying a $2 million lake home or $1 million lake home. Justin, even in kind of a weird market like that, he's still getting amazing, amazing results with Platform. So Justin has actually, this video was filmed a year ago, so I should probably ask him for an updated case study video. So in this video, I think he said he doubled his GCI. He's actually since then tripled it. Okay, so with Platform, he was making just shy, or before Platform, he was making just shy of about $100,000 in GCI. Now he's making over $300,000 in GCI. And so the cool thing that Justin says in this video about his experience with this platform marketing strategy is that it's the best business decision he's ever made. So I think that's really cool. I take that compliment personally because I'm the founder, I'm the CEO of Platform. So when I hear, you know, clients saying that this is literally the best business decision they've ever made, that's really, really cool. And so again, if you want, you know, results like Justin has created, even in a weird market like that, you know, Platform pretty much works everywhere. Again, because you have no competition, no other agents are structuring a marketing strategy like this, right? You have no competition. Platformmarketmap.com is where you can get signed up on that trial month. And by the way, when you go there, we're not going to ask you to schedule a sales call. You don't have to put in your credit card. There's not some big application or form you have to fill out. We're literally just asking you for name and email. That's it. All you have to do to reserve your market is name and email. It takes you 5 seconds to fill that out. So there's not some application or anything like that. Just name and email. That's it. That's how you can reserve your market. First come, first served before someone else does. Platformmarketmap.com. Now let's check out Justin in his own words. As he says, Platform is the best business decision he's ever made.
Hey guys, I'm Justin Liller with Rayleigh Realty at Deep Creek Lake, and I want to share my experience so far since joining Platform. Back in January, I flew down and met with Tim, and he showed me kind of the basics of Platform, which I implemented right away and saw some pretty good success with. So at the end of May, I became a full Platform family member. So it's been a little more than 30 days, maybe 40 days since I joined Platform, and I've seen some really incredible success. I'm picking up between 4 and 6 full contact information leads per day off of the ads that I run on Facebook. I can directly relate 3 listings back to my platform ads that I've been running. They range anywhere from $150,000 to $800,000. I have had 2 closings from that, $175,000 closing and another at $850,000. And then I have a property under contract with some folks that opted into one of my ads at $1,550,000. So, you know, it's an incredible value that they offer at Platform. The return on investment is going to be absolutely huge. And I could not recommend joining Platform anymore. Like it has been by far the best business decision that I have ever made. So I've been implementing the Platform strategy since January, but only been a full Platform member since the end of May. And as of last Friday, I had 2 closings last Friday. As of last Friday, for 2017, I've already exceeded my GCI that I had in 2016. So I have no doubt that this is going to become my best year ever. And I think that, you know, if you follow the strategies that they talk about, it could be anybody's best year ever. You've got to film the videos, you've got to do the follow-up, and the buyers and listings will come. You know, it's been incredible. Over the holiday weekend, I had 5 people walk up to me and say, "Hey, you're that guy from the Facebook ads, the videos. I watch all your home tours. I love it." And you know, it's that kind of stuff that maybe doesn't show up in your GCI right away, but over time it will, because people are gonna, you know, when they're ready to buy, they're only gonna think of you because you've built that trust and you've given them something to watch while they're bored at work or sitting at home, and they absolutely love it. So anyway, I can't thank Platform enough. I couldn't be happier. And if you're on the fence about this, just do it. You're not going to regret it. Thanks a lot.
That's just a really cool case study. I mean, even in a kind of a weird market like he's in, where there's, you know, lower priced homes, but there's also, you know, multi-million-dollar properties, he's still crushing it. If you want results, again, www.platformmarketmap.com. Now, there's a ton of other case studies I can show you. This is Tammy. She's in Louisiana. She's totally crushing it. This is Micah. Micah's all the way out in Hawaii. So even out in Hawaii, on like Oahu, Micah Grafsgaard is crushing it with Platform. As you can see, you know, he added over 100K to his GCI, even out in Hawaii. So Platform works pretty much everywhere, right? So I'm going to skip ahead through a lot of these slides. This is Justin. Justin's in College Station, Texas. He more than doubled his business. Rodney's in Wichita. This is Amy. Amy's in Pensacola, Florida. As I skip ahead here to the very end of this webinar, there's one more video I wanted to show you guys, just one more. And this is maybe my all-time favorite video of platform marketing, because this story is almost too good to be true. It's almost cliche. It's like a classic American rags to riches story. This is the video story of Debbie Kaler. Debbie was a realtor, I should say is a realtor in central Minnesota, in a rural small town in Candiac County. Like the entire county only had, like entire county she lives in only has like 30,000 people. But her town that she's in, where her office is in, this is the main street that you see here on the screen, the entire town only has 1,200 people, right? And so Debbie had a pretty, you know, decent real estate career. She's been an agent for over 25 years. But when the market, you know, crashed in 2007, 2008, her business just evaporated because she realized that she had never really had a marketing system and a lead gen system. She kind of just existed because of how hot the market was, right? And so when that went away, her business just collapsed. And she got behind on her bills, her mortgage payment. You know, the bank was actually about to take her house because she wasn't making any money from real estate, that she couldn't even afford to stay current on her mortgage payments, right? She was actually applying for other jobs because she thought that her career as a realtor after 25 years, she thought it was just done. Like, oh, I guess I can't do this anymore. I have to go get a normal job somewhere. And that's when she found out about Platform. She contacted Platform. And with the last bit of money she had, and I mean, I know this sounds super cheesy, super cliche, and that's why I'm going to show you the video, because if I just tell you the story, it almost sounds too good to be true. So I'm going to show you the video. But Debbie hired Platform, and now she not only isn't broke anymore, she bought a brand new Jeep, her dream car, the Jeep Rubicon. She bought a brand new lake home, like a $500,000 lake home on one of the most prestigious lakes in all of Minnesota. The very first house that she promoted with a Facebook ad with Platform was actually her own house that she had to sell because she couldn't even afford to live there anymore, right? She was behind on her mortgage payments, and she knew that the bank was getting to the point where they were going to foreclose and just take the house. And so rather than go through that, which is kind of humiliating for a real estate agent to lose your own house to the bank, she just decided to sell it quick, right? And that was actually the first Platform ad that we ran for her, was an ad to find a buyer for that listing, which was, unfortunately her own house. So flash forward now, Debbie is super, super successful. She has a brand new luxury lake home, brand new car. She's not only the top real estate agent in her city now, she's actually the top agent at her entire brokerage in the state of Minnesota. So this is one of the coolest before and after stories ever of a real estate agent who is struggling, becoming really, really successful. And it's because of Platform marketing. So if you want results like Debbie, I'll let Debbie tell you the story in her own words, which is why, by the way, we actually hired a documentary film crew, and we paid to fly them up there, and we filmed a documentary about Debbie's story. It's just like so amazing that it kind of sounds like you're naturally skeptical because it sounds too good to be true. So we actually hired a film crew to film a documentary about this. So what I'm about to show you is just a quick clip from that documentary about Debbie's story, about how she grew her business so much because of Platform. So check out Debbie's story in her own words. And again, if you want results like this in your business, we can get you set up on a trial month where we will build all the ads for you. You'll generate over 100 warm leads in your very first trial month, right? You get results right away. All you have to do is take 5 seconds and go to www.platformmarketmap.com. All we're asking for is your name and email to get set up. www.platformmarketmap.com.
Okay, so I love this car. I've always wanted a Jeep Rubicon, always. Never thought I'd be able to get one, especially that I could just write out a check for, actually. But I was in Platform for about 6 months when my other car actually blew up, and I just kind of thought, what am I doing? I can afford what I want. So drove onto the lot with that wreck and drove off with this Rubicon with only 6 miles on it, which was a fantastic day.
So I want you to meet Debbie Kaler. The Platform strategy literally rescued her career. After the housing market crashed, she was struggling to make a living. Now she's driving a brand new car, bought a new lake home, and business is better than ever. Her story is just incredible. So I'll let her share the details. This is the power of the Platform strategy.
Hi, I'm Debbie Kaler. I'm a realtor in a very small town in west central Minnesota. Population just a little over 2,000. So it's a tough market. We have a lot of agents around here. In fact, I would say we are saturated because everybody, for some reason, thinks that real estate is the fast, easy money, easiest thing you can get into. So I got into real estate in 1990 and always did pretty well, probably in the top 10, 15. And then the market crashed. And being a single person, that was tough. I ended up losing my house, my car, pawned all my jewelry. I literally had nothing left other than the clothes on my back.
So, as I said, Debbie's story is one of the coolest Platform stories I've ever heard. After 20 years in the business, things were so slow, she was about to quit real estate entirely and find a new career. She was applying for jobs around the country, just trying to find something to pay the bills. And then she discovered Platform.
So thinking, this is it. I have to get out of real estate permanently, even though I loved it. They found out my story and they said, we have this young guy that does marketing for us. You should give him a try. So I was desperate and I decided, all right, I'm going to meet him. Turns out it's Tim Schermack. And he came over and talked to me and started telling me about Platform. And I thought, this is entirely too good to be true. There's no way anything is that good that's going to take me from about being homeless, literally homeless, actually being able to stay in this business and make it. But humor me, I'll listen to him. So I made him. He gave me the good sales pitch. Out of frustration, I hired him. And only because that day in the mail, the very last check had come from my retirement account. Very last check. And I knew it wasn't going to carry me through anyway, so what's the big deal? I might as well gamble. I threw it at him and said, all right, big talker, you think you can do this? Do it. I bet it was 3 weeks later, leads started to come in like crazy. And they started rolling in. I'm not kidding. And pretty soon I didn't have time for that other job I took. I was back into real estate. And here we are 2.5 years later. And I went from number 47 in my association up to number 2.
So Debbie went from having no money, literally losing her home, to being the number 2 agent in her entire association. I love this story. It's such an authentic example of the power of platform. The entire community noticed how quickly Debbie built her brand. Remember, building your business is as simple as building a list of people who trust you. Not just a database, but a list of people who trust you.
So one of the fun things with platform was I had so many friends say, you know, when the market crashed, we thought you were done. That was it. We thought your business was going under, that you were done, no more Debbie. And it's like you came back with a vengeance. All of a sudden we see videos all over the place and your signs are going up all over the place. And now you're really showing other people how it's done. I actually had a couple of my competing agencies come and try to recruit me with their company. To which it's like, no, I turned them down. I mean, they're like, don't you want to work for, and then they'd say their name because they're bigger names in the area. I don't have a big name. You know, Lakes Area Realty, Debbie Kaler Real Estate, and I don't have the big banners, the big balloons, anything like that. And it's like, you know what? I don't need you. I'm doing fine on my own. They didn't like that very well, but I've pretty much buried most of them, which is a great feeling. And it's all because of platform. I went from, said, bottom of the barrel, thinking that I was going under, to a place I never thought I would be. It's because of the marketing. And that happened rather quickly. Actually, I would say within 3 months, people started to make comments about, wow, you came back strong. And by 6 months, it was, wow.
Amazing. So let's take a behind-the-scenes look at Debbie's office and get a feel for what her daily routine looks like when the leads are flowing in.
So I just want to give you a behind-the-scenes look at what platform has done for me. Just in this last week, I've gotten 3 pages of leads. The ones that are crossed off are the ones that I've actually come in contact with, I've had phone conversations with, or even met them for coffee. I've got 2 listing appointments out of it so far, and for sure 1 buyer, probably 2, maybe even 3. So it's been great that way. It keeps me busy. It keeps me in contact with people. But I really want to show you personally what it's done for me. So my dream car was always a Jeep Rubicon. And after working with Platform for, I don't know, about 6 months, I was finally able to get one. Brand new, right off the lot. And it only had 6 miles on it. So it was glorious. Working with Platform and really working the program, if you work it, it works. So if you've been in it and say that it doesn't work, it's only because you're not doing anything with it. I have proof, because what I'm going to show you is the property I was able to buy, and it may not be huge, but it is on a premier lake. It's on Green Lake, which used to be the 2nd purest lake in the world. It's completely renovated. I can't wait to show it to you. So, you know, we're going to go there right now and take a look.
You know, I'm reminded of that classic quote from Zig Ziglar. You can have whatever you want in life if you'll just help other people get what they want. This is the very essence of the platform strategy. Just serve people. Before you ever ask for anything, provide value. Be the most helpful real estate agent in your market. As you'll see, it worked for Debbie, and it can work for you too.
I paid plenty for it just because it is where it is. But it is a Frank Lloyd Wright house, which does mean something. So I wanted to keep his design. And that's another reason I renovated what was there instead of tearing it down. It is a $500,000 house in a community where everything, the average price is $150,000. So it's an accomplishment. I never thought I would be able to do that. So we're almost at my humble cottage. So not only was I able to buy.
So the cool thing here is Debbie's going to actually show you, you know, I mean, obviously you saw her new Jeep there, but she's going to show you her new lake home. I mean, she totally renovated it, like brand new kitchen, countertops. She knocked out walls. She put huge windows with lake views. It's an awesome, awesome lake house. And keep in mind, she was, you know, before she hired Platform and before Platform grew her business with all of the marketing strategies, you know, that we talked about, you know, before all that, she was actually about to lose her other house to the bank. Like the bank was about to take her house. She was making no money. And now she's not only the top realtor in her entire area, she's the top real estate agent with her entire brokerage in the state of Minnesota. So again, if you want marketing results like this in your business and you want to reserve your market, just like Debbie did, go to www.platformmarketmap.com.
This new car, but Platform also allowed me to buy my new lake home. So this is the lake home that I bought, and I was able to renovate the whole thing. What we're standing in was actually just a screen porch. Going into the kitchen, I was able to put in all new countertops, new flooring, all new appliances, took out some walls, added some windows, opened up the living room. This was a couple tiny rooms before, but what I love about this place is this epic view of Green Lake, and thanks to Platform, I get to enjoy it every day.
Again, if you want results like this in your business, we can run the same marketing program for you in your market. And because we're 100% exclusive, you'll be the only realtor in your market that gets to work with us at Platform. So to reserve your market and get set up on that trial month, again, all we're asking for is your name and email. I mean, if you're still watching this, guys, what are you waiting for? It literally only takes 5 seconds. Go to www.platformmarketmap.com to reserve your market and get set up on that trial month. Just www.platformmarketmap.com. All right, cool. Well, guys, thank you for joining us this morning. I'm going to have Mitch shoot you another email. We call it the checklist email. And in that email that Mitch will send you, it'll have kind of a breakdown of all the specific things the Platform does for you on a monthly basis. So it'll list out everything that you get with the Platform marketing program. You know, so we edit all your videos, all the retargeting campaigns. You know, we set up the lead gen campaigns, obviously, the landing pages. You know, the weekly personal one-on-one coaching calls, the market exclusivity, you know, building those custom audiences. I mean, everything that we do for you, Mitch will list out in that email. So I'll have him shoot you that email here. And then again, to get started, it's super easy. Just takes five seconds to reserve your market and get, you know, signed up on that trial month. Do it before someone else does. It is first come, first serve, right? Do it before someone else does. Grab your market, reserve it. www.platformmarketmap.com and check your email. I'll have Mitch email you the checklist email this afternoon. All right. Thanks, guys.